Russia is enormously big, and it is located both in Asia and in Europe. So is Russia an Asian country or is it a European country? Are Russian people Europeans or are they Asians? These questions are not that simple, that's why I had to make this video. My name is Liz, I am a native Siberian and I grew up in Russia, now I live in the United States of America. My channel is about my journey and my experience of growing up there and being a native Siberian in the United States. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to learn more. You probably already know that Russia is the biggest country in the world. It's bigger than the US, it's bigger than China, and it's practically bigger than all the European countries altogether. Russian land is so huge, it stretches all the way from Poland to Japan, from Arctic to China. It has 11 time zones, multiple republics, multiple ethnic groups. Russia is located in both Asia and Europe. Not only that, the border between Asia and Europe is inside of Russia, and it is Ural Mountains. But it's a nowadays Russia. Historically, Russia used to be a 100% European country. There was a country called Kievskaya Rus or Kiev Rus. It was a Slavic country closely connected to all other Slavic nations and other European countries until it started colonizing Siberia. This is when my ancestors became Russians. I've already made a video about Siberia and how it became a part of Russia, so if you want to learn more about that, check it out. Siberia is the biggest part of Russia nowadays, and it is in Asia. 77% of Russian land is in Asia. Does it make it an Asian country? Not exactly. 77% of Russian territory is in Asia, but 75% of Russian population is in Europe. There are almost 200 ethnic groups living in Russia, each of them having its own language, its own culture, its own history, and its own religion. So these people are Russians, and these people are Russians. Even these people are Russians. So what do you think now? Are we Europeans or are we Asians? Let me know in the comments. So depending on your ethnicity, you can be European and you can be Asian, but you are still Russian. Some of us do look Asian, just like me. We look like Chinese, we look like Mongolian, we look like Central Asian or East Asian. Some people do have like Scandinavian look. They have pale skin, blonde hair and blue eyes. Some Russians look like Middle Eastern people or South European people. Nonetheless, the majority of Russian people are Slavic and are European looking. So we've talked about geography, we've talked about ethnicities, but there are some other things that can make you either European or Asian. I can tell that I was growing up very European. The books I was reading were European, the music I was listening to was Western and European. The education I got was completely European. But at the same time, my family has some Asian traditions. So I can be reading books of Plato and listening to music of Mozart, but at the same time, I can ask shaman to help me with my problems. I have both European values and Asian traditions. So do I have to choose if I'm Asian or I'm European? Do I have to identify just as one of them, or can I just be both? Not only I was growing up with this mix of values and cultures from Europe and Asia, I also moved to the US, and living in the US shifted my perspective a ton. In America, when people say Russians, they mean all the people who speak Russian. And these are not only people from Russia, some of them have never been to Russia. People from Georgia, from Armenia, from Ukraine, from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Belarus. Lots of people from these countries are Russian native speakers. And we can talk and we can communicate because we share the same language, but we have very different histories. And people who don't speak Russian call us Russians. Not only I am Russian, I am also native Siberian, which is a completely different story. But I do believe that you can be anything and you don't have to choose. That's why I am Asian, I am Siberian, and I am Russian. All at once. I have some other good videos about Siberia and Russia for you to watch, so subscribe to my channel, check them out.